Welcome to my channel, Easy Way to Learn. So today's topic will be the difference between the services and goods. So this is very important topic essentially for the aspirants who are studying the service marketing in graduation level or post graduation level as well as very important topic for the marketing perspective as well. So there is a difference between the services and the goods, and certainly due to that difference the marketing of services and marketing of the goods has to have certain differences. The first difference between services and goods is the tangibility. Services are intangible in nature, they cannot be touched or hold, whereas goods are tangible in nature, they can be touched and hold. The example includes that you buy your smartphone. The smartphone is a good, it can be touched, it can be hold, so certainly the marketer can easily explain its features, show its images, and through the advertisement they can show its differences from its competitors. But when you talk about services are intangible, so it is very difficult to uh, advertise of a service. This is a kind of a challenge for the services as well. Like for example, we take the services of say saloon. The services of saloon are intangible in nature. You go for hairstyling, your hairstylist uses his skills, uses his knowledge, his experience to give a makeover to your hairs, so that is intangible in nature. So a saloon promoting his experienced hairstylist or his service, its services, they have to use either the processes of the services or the testimonies of the successful or testimonies of the satisfied customers, but they can't show the product because it is intangible. The product or the service in a saloon is intangible, it is the experience and the skills of the hairstylist. Second difference is the separability. Separability basically means the services are inseparable in nature. Production, distribution, and consumption of service take place simultaneously. Whereas in goods, function of distribution and consumption of goods can be separated from the function of production. This difference or this point also creates a challenge for the service marketer, since the services are produced, distributed, and consumed at the same time. So it needs the presence of the service provider, the service provider, the service, and the consumption by the customer. They have to be in the simultaneous basis. So they can't be stored for the future. Certainly, since the service provider is being involved in the generation of service, so they have to be very cautious while dealing with the customers. Their one wrong move or one way of talking or something can have an impact on the image or the reputation of the entire firm. Like say for example, you go to say very renowned gold gym. So certainly gold gym is world famous, but since the branch you are going, their trainers are not very good at behaving with your behaving with the clients, or they are not very good at giving proper attention to their clients. So certainly due to their behavior, due to their service quality, ultimately it is having the impact on the entire reputation or goodwill of the entire brand itself. So that is the challenge which is being posed by the separability as a difference between the service and goods. So how this can be solved is through the proper training of your service providers. Service providers are the key to the service firm. Without the service firm can't exist. Proper training and proper recruitment of the service providers is essential. Third difference is the ownership. Services cannot be owned, they can be hired for a specific period of time. Whereas goods can be owned, you buy a smartphone, you own it, you can keep it for your lifetime as well. But on the other hand, the services like services of a saloon or gym can be hired for a specific period of time. They can't be owned for the entire lifetime. You can't take the services of a saloon and store it and use it in and own it and use it in future as well. This is not possible. The next point is perishability, which is means the services are perishable. They can't be stored, they can't be used in future, whereas goods can be stored for the future use. For example, like you might be gathering the groceries during the tough times of COVID because of its future use. But perishability is essential feature of services. So services can't be stored like the goods. Yeah. And what is the challenge to that is that you have to convince your customer that this is very essential for the for that customer or consumer to certainly take that services. Like for example, uh, I am selling one 5G smartphone to my prospective customer, and that person might say that, example for India, 5G networks are not available. So I can convince that person by saying that it will help you in future. It might be useful for you in the future. You can store it and you can reserve it and you can use it in future as well. But when you talk about the services part, you can't say this same explanation for the services, because services can't be stored. So someone who is coming to your, say, saloon, or say your say any health services or something like gym or something, so you have to convince your prospective customer that this is essentially needed by you at the present time. You need to take these services because you are in need. Sometimes you have to realize, or sometimes you have to aware the customer that you are in need of this thing. Like someone coming to me in my say I am owning a gym, someone coming to me that for you can say just getting an overview of my services. So I have to convince that person that why my gym is better and why my gym services are essentially for you. So based on my understanding, I have to convince. So this is the challenge for the service marketer, because they have to certainly convince the prospective customer that their services are uh, in need for that customer at the at the present time itself, because certainly services can't be stored. Heterogeneity. Heterogeneity means the services are heterogeneous. They can't be identical. Very difficult to make the very identical services. The You go to a saloon, the hairstylist, one time you have a different hairstylist, another time you have a different hairstylist. Your You will feel the service, the difference in the services, even though the same hairstylist sometimes have a different services at different point of time, based on his mood, based on his health, certainly. So this is a difference of a service from the goods, where goods can be homogeneous as well. Like they can have proper standards and they can be identical because they are being produced by machineries, or say uh, big factories and all. So what is the challenge which is posed by the heterogeneity is that since the services are heterogeneous, you have to set certain standards, certain processes of providing these services, so that you are able to maintain your goodwill, maintain your standards in the market. Like for say saloon, you are doing some hair spa techniques. So hair spa technique, for every hairstyler there is some kind of set protocol or set processes, that first you have to do, say, first you have to start with the hair wash, then you have to use the keratin, then you have to do the hairstyling. So there is a kind of a process. So through the setting of certain processes, certain standards, this will help in maintaining the maintaining the homogeneity in services. However, 100% homogeneity in services is not possible because of its dependence on the service provider, and ultimately the service providers are generally in people processing, are certainly the people or the service providers, and humans are ought to be different at different times. So this is one of the challenge. So hope with this video with the examples you are clear with the services versus goods. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe.